So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Pathshala, and very happy to receive all of you. Now we are meeting on fortnightly basis and not every Sunday. Uh, so one great change that this time we are doing is that we are calling this initiative now Together for We. First, we were calling this Heartful Learners Academy. Now we are calling it Together for We. One feedback that I got from a lot of people is that, because we are continuously using the word heartful, heartfulness, people were feeling that as if this is limited only to the heartfulness community. So I wanted to break that. Assumption, because this platform is for actually all goodness campaigners of the world. It is not limited to heartfulness. Of course, heartfulness also, but and there is no, and I am a devoted heartfulness volunteer. That is true, but the very nature of heartfulness is that we are not limited to only ourselves. We are limited. We are not in any way um, uh, talking that we are the only people who are doing something in this world. We are taking everyone along, and we want to learn from everybody. So in that spirit, we changed this name from Heartful Learners Academy to Together for We. Welcome. This way, we can say that today is a sort of a relaunch of our initiative in a new, on defined ideas, on refined ideas, and as we keep progressing, we'll keep learning and we'll keep improving and we'll keep. As I said, this is an experiment in action, and I'm sure once we get all the ingredients correct, uh, this will kind of grow in a much larger way. So what is the vision? To help manifest the idea of one world, one humanity, or what can also be understood as we consciousness on earth, by enabling a win-win way of life supported by the principles, teachings, and self-expansion techniques of organizations that are working for the same goal. So there are many organizations and movements who are teaching universal love and brotherhood, who are saying that we are all one, and all these differences are really superficial and we should not look at these differences. But at the same time, while we understand these things, we need a way to practice. Somebody talks to you about table tennis, somebody talks to you about swimming. You understand that, okay, actually you have to play like this, you have to swim like that. But unless you start swimming, unless you start playing, you will not really understand what this is all about. So we have to create a platform, we have to create a method where we can practice these principles. So Together for We is a type of a social entrepreneurship platform where we want to take all the budding goodness campaigners, you know, the real established ones probably will come and teach on this platform and we will learn from them. But all of us who have this urge to do something good in life, to, we are, and we're looking for goodness partners, can we all come together? One great teaching of my teacher, as I have written here, this vision is inspired by my teacher, my spiritual guide, Sri Kamlesh D. Patel, the Global Guide of Heartfulness Institute. This is his inspiration. He's saying, let's get all the goodness campaigners, let's get the goodness on one platform. He says the people who are selfish, who are evil, they seem to be combining. But people who talk about brotherhood, goodness, they don't seem to be combining. So this is a small effort from my side, our side. I keep calling it my, but I think all of us now are getting involved. It's best we call it our effort to bring more and more people on this platform who have some goodness in their heart. But goodness can be anything. Maybe they want to spread spirituality. Maybe they want to spread animal care. Maybe they want to spread save the earth. Maybe they want to spread women empowerment. Anything which is not selfish, which is going to help others, is goodness. And we want to bring all that on one platform. And why do we want to bring them on this platform? Because we want to help them with three objectives. As you can see the mission statement, to create thousands of budding goodness campaigners, to be inspired community influencers throughout the world that inspire their communities to act in a spirit of universal brotherhood or be consciousness. So goodness should not be in shadow. Goodness must be the light in the darkness. So goodness should not be shy. Many of us who want to do good, but we become shy. We feel that there is we feel weak. In many ways. So to take care of that issue, this platform will provide three support to such goodness campaigners. One is how do they become empowered learners? How do they become win-win earners? And how do they continuously keep evolving as givers? So we will look at all the three objectives one by one. Connect at heartfulvishal.com. You can please reach to me on that. I have a website, heartfulvishal.com also. You can visit that. It is a developing website. You can have a look at that. The old email ID info@hlacademy.com is also active. You can interact with me also on that. So warm welcome to all goodness campaigners who may be seeing this video later. Please join us and empower this budding effort to get goodness empowered. So what is the first objective? Empowered learning. Empowered learning means learning that empowers goodness. To help goodness campaigners with free and sometimes paid resources and training that can help them improve their personal skills, knowledge, mental attitude, thus empowering them to become influencers of their communities. We will give you a simplified learning that they can trust. So a lot of information and knowledge, it is available in the world today, but it is confusing whether this is right or whether that is right. It is not explained in a simple way. So we will make an effort in this platform to take up topics which are extremely useful: leadership, time management, success, failure, team building. We will take up such topics, and we will try to remove the complex part of it and try to explain concepts in a very simple way so that it can be understood. Okay, so that our goodness campaigners become educated, learned, empowered with this knowledge, and they can influence their own community. Win-win earnings. Now, it is very important that goodness gets the financial boost that it needs. What I mean by financial boost is normally people who have a goodness campaign in their heart will have a problem related to money many times, because most of us are householders and we are not able to balance our budget. So this platform will also give an opportunity to increase your financial wellness. We can come together. We will try to mentor the earning capacity of people who are a part of this project, and we will also connect such people to trustable win-win money-making opportunities, especially on the internet. The opening of the internet is giving many honest money-making opportunities, and we want to connect people to such opportunities so that they become financially strong. And with the strength that they get financially, they can empower their own goodness campaigns. One thing that we want to do in this platform is we will create a win-win, self-sustaining, scalable support ecosystem for noble causes of this world to help reduce the dependence on donations. Most of the goodness campaigns in the world run on donations, But is it possible that we can create revenue sources for such goodness campaigns without always resorting to donations? Donations will be there, necessary part, great. But is it possible to create other sources of revenues for such goodness causes and they don't have to depend on donations? Okay. So we are going to experiment with some ideas here and see whether that is possible. Heartful giving, evolutionary giving. What we want to talk about here is that how do we become evolutionary givers? That you are financially strong, you have more knowledge. How can you give your knowledge and time to people? How can you empower others? And most importantly, our mental attitude, our inner attitude towards giving. Initially, we feel that we are giving. I am giving. And there is an effort in giving. And there is a need for recognition that, oh, I am giving, somebody should appreciate me. Good, that's a good place to begin, no problem. But is it possible to keep checking whether our state of evolution or state of consciousness keeps evolving to a point where giving is our natural thing, just like a river flows and doesn't feel that it is doing something great. So can our lives become like this, that goodness flows, the intrinsic goodness of our heart flows outside, and we don't feel something special. It just becomes our state of mind, state of being. And that is the evolution path of giving, that we want to slowly take this up in the group. People join with the attitude that I will give and they want appreciation. That's a good place to start. At least their giving has started. But can it start moving towards other, other different evolved attitudes to giving? So this is the idea about the three objectives about Together for We, and this is what we are going to pursue here. These objectives are quite similar to what was earlier, but we have just refined them and made them universal so that people, everyone who has goodness in their heart, feels like joining this initiative, and not only one particular community or one particular philosophy, but everyone. So now let us kind of quickly revise last 15 days what we have been doing. In the last 15 days, we talked about vision, mission, goals, and milestones. So whenever you want to do something proper and something big, you have to begin with the vision, then you have to write a mission statement, then you have to form your goals, and then the milestones. Those who have not seen the videos, please watch it. You will understand that the vision flows like this. You cannot, everything is related. You cannot have goals without the mission, and you cannot have a mission without the vision. When everything is aligned, that is the time when you're ready to do the big thing. The bottom line is, how do we act? See, this is how we plan: vision, mission, goals, and milestones. But when it comes to action, we have to act in the opposite way: milestones, goals, mission, and vision. If we work on our milestones, we'll achieve goals. When we achieve goals, we will achieve the mission. When we achieve the mission, we achieve the vision. So either you can write your own vision statement and your mission statement, or you become a part of some vision and mission. And you also adopt the goals that vision and mission has. And then you set up your own milestones. Every 3 months, improve. Every 3 months, try to achieve the goals of the mission and vision that you're adopting. In case you feel that, I don't need to write my own vision, I want to be part of a bigger team. Look at the team that inspires you. Look at the movement that inspires you. Become part of it. So this is a question that I want to ask to all of you. What is the difference between, here we are dealing with the topic of self-confidence, which is a very important point. See, once you have your vision, mission, goals, and milestone in place, then you must have the confidence to execute it. And the confidence, what is generally known as self-confidence, must begin with a deeper understanding of what is self-love. So I will open and request all of you to give a feedback on what do you think is self-love. What is the difference between the self-love with a big S and the self-love with a small s? What do you think? Please give your feedback. Please unmute yourself and participate. You can just give 1 or 2 points. It's a little. It is a question that needs a little bit of introspection. Self-love and self-love. What is the difference? You can take time to think. It is a tricky question. Yes. Shashireka, why don't you give it an attempt? The difference between self-love and self-love. The context we will explain why we are discussing this, but let's first try to see why this is there. Sister Shashi, you are there?
Hello?
Yes, sister.
Yeah, tell me, brother.
The question is, what is the difference between self-love, S with a big S, and self-love with a small s? What is your opinion?
Self-love. Self-love is, as per my view, we have to love ourselves.
Yes, and why it is important?
To understand us better. To understand us better, and to our performance will be more if we love ourselves in
What
each and every.
what part
Our
of
sorry,
yes, go on. I'm listening. Go
uh,
ahead. Sister. We're all listening.
our performance will be better if we love ourselves.
Okay.
Um, See, when we love ourselves, then we get the attitude of loving others.
Okay. So when we are talking about loving ourselves, then are we talking about the which is the self that we are talking about? What are we going to love? Are we going to love our I mean, you know, me first? Is this the idea that I should always get something first? Is that the idea of self love, or are we talking about something else? What are we talking here?
No, it is not the idea of getting. I should get everything first, or like not like that.
Mhm.
Like as a person, I should love myself. I should give respect to my liking first. I should know what do I want. So when you love ourself only, then only we'll come to know all these things. I believe. I think.
Sister Munira, you have put something in the chat. Why don't you come live and make your point? Sister Munira?
Self-love means self, your higher self.
Okay.
Love your higher self. No?
Okay. Thank you, Sister Lina. Munira?
हाँ भाई.
Yeah, you sent a very nice message. Maybe you can elaborate that a bit.
Is by see the small self-love. No, we are kind of selfish. We are only thinking about ourselves, how we are looking, and that leads us to only impressing others. It's very superficial, is what I feel. But the bigger self, when we are, how should I say, the bigger self is kind of consciousness which exists, which includes everybody. So if you are able to access that, then naturally, we are able to relate, give, see the bigger picture, and not only think about me and mine.
Is that you? The self, the big self, which includes everybody, is that you?
It's us.
Yes. See, that's the trick, the we consciousness, and
We consciousness.
you know, from today onwards, whenever we do some of these things, like we today also when we will take up, we'll try to bring in this element, of we consciousness, how or universal consciousness. I use we consciousness as a general word. It is nothing specific. It is not a brand. In general word, you can call it universal consciousness, one consciousness, whatever you like. Once we are able to start using that and see the practical purpose of that, practical utility of that, and the beauty of it, then we will start, need to be in that also. So we'll try that. In fact, that is a unique flavor that is going to be in our programs from this point onwards, where we'll try to bring that. We'll apply the we consciousness in our life and see how it affects this, what we are trying to learn here. And that is why this learning is going to be a little different. It will have its own spice, the we consciousness spice in this. So yes, self-love can be a small self-love, which actually means a lot of selfishness, a lot of I-ness, which is okay. We're not talking about it in a, because we all begin that way. We see ourselves as separate from someone, and we want to be secure. We want to be um, protected. Everything, we make 1 lakh not enough, 2 lakh not enough, 1 crore not enough. We want everything in the wealth because we are afraid that we think that we are different from someone else. That we are insecure about something. So that selfishness, that insecurity is making us think only about ourselves. It's good to think about ourselves, but only about ourselves is the problem. And slowly we need to move from this small s to a big S, which includes us and everybody else too. And when you read books on self-love, please remember that it is a big S that we are talking about and not the small s. If you start loving the small s of yours, me, I should get appreciated, I should do, I, then you start contracting, you start contracting, but once you understood that self-love is that bigger S, the universal thing, and that's also me, and you start loving yourself because of that big S in you, that I am this, I am beautiful because I have that in me, and that's my beauty, that because that is in me, I am beautiful and I cherish that. That is the time when the real self-love begins, S, the big S. Another tricky question. We will see why all this we are discussing. Okay, it's going to all play out. What is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence? Okay. I have marked self-esteem with a S, with a big S, and self-confidence with a small s. There is a purpose to that. Let's have an input. Self-esteem and self-confidence. अगर आप में से किसी को हिंदी में बात करनी है चर्चा में, आप बात कर सकते हैं. It's okay. Self-confidence and what is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence? See, this approach to self-confidence you will rarely get. We are really looking at it in a very different way here. Yes, who would like to contribute? Vivek, would you like to give it a shot? Difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Is it tricky? It is a little tricky. तनुजा जी, आप कुछ कहेंगे इसके बारे में? सेल्फ एस्टीम किसको कहते हैं, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस किसको कहते हैं?
Self confidence is one with self, like I can do this. It is connected with me, my as to my understanding. I am telling it is to me. Yes, I can do it. I will do it. It's regarding to the self as a self confidence. Regarding to self esteem, I think, as you said, it's in a broader way. Connecting others also, including me. I think so, but I'm not sure. So, in the sense, self-confidence is, yes, I can do it. I have confidence in me. So, that according to me, that much I can say, brother.
Okay. All right, good attempt. Anyone want to add to this? Self-esteem. I have marked self-esteem with a big S and self-confidence with a small s. Okay, because it's a little difficult, I will move on with this.
As you say, it's tricky also.
It's tricky. I had the liberty of thinking for it a long time.
so
we don't have that much time in our Sunday Pathshala.
We will not attempt these questions.
It's really difficult. It's okay. It's all right. The idea was to trigger some thinking and.
Yes, brother.
So, okay, let me give
so you want to answer this question, this tricky question, brother.
How many of you want an answer to this, or should I say we will discuss it later? If you want an answer to this, please put one in your chat box. Put one in the chat box if you want clarity on this. Difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay. Okay, the ones have started coming in. All right. Difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. Jyoti sister has joined in a little late. Okay. Great.
Sorry brother, अभी बैठे वगैरह की और सिटिंग्स कंप्लीट की हैं, तो अभी टाइम मिला तो जस्ट एडेड.
All right. That's okay. So the question here is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. So Jyoti, you have just come in. Do you want to give a shot to this question? We were discussing so far what was self-love. We understood that self-love is actually a love. You love yourself because the ultimate is in you, because there's some the higher consciousness in you which is everywhere, and that is so beautiful that you have to love it. Then that is self-love. And it's in everyone and it's in you. Now, then we are discussing what is self-esteem and self-confidence. And we gave some time to this question.
Okay. Regarding self-esteem, it is like Atma Samman.
Okay.
So
Yes. आप थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बोल सकते हैं, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
no, just I am translating. आत्म सम्मान एक ऐसी चीज हो लगती है कि हमेशा इधर उधर हो ही जाती है. सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस ओके मैं कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन इसी में अगर कोई कहे कि तू नहीं कर सकती, तो लगता है कि भाई मेरे आत्मसम्मान को ठेस पहुंची है, कि मेरे अंदर ईगो आ गई. ईगो जो है सेल्फ एस्टीम से डेवलप होता है. व्हाट आई फील सो, एंड आई एम रियलाइजिंग इट आल्सो.
Okay, so Atma Samman is a good word. In fact, that's going to help understand the idea of self-esteem. And let me put my views. See, I'm just putting my views. I have been a truth seeker on this path last 24 years, and these kind of questions I have played with a lot. And this is out of my reading, listening to my spiritual guide, digesting. So if you don't agree, it's okay. I mean, I'm just sharing. So self-esteem, Jyoti gave a very good Atma Samman. Self-esteem is, it's your appreciation of the higher self in you. आपके अंदर जो आत्मा है, उसका जो सम्मान है, that is Atma Samman. मतलब you are great because of the soul element, or if you don't believe in soul, the higher consciousness or the one consciousness, whatever you believe in, these are words, doesn't matter. The essence is some higher element, which is in you, and because that higher element in you, that has its own circle of influence, and that when you behave according to that higher presence, कहने का मतलब when we are aligned means when we think, say and do, when we are in one line. If, as long as we are within that influence of that higher presence which is in us, and our behavior is according to that, we are always trying to do our best. We are not deliberately trying to cheat anyone. We are not deliberately trying to hurt anyone. We try to be as helpful as we can be. As I said, we think, we say, and we do in one line. We are transparent. Then this creates a lot of self-esteem in ourselves. Self-esteem, it is like, it's the reservoir of radiance of that higher presence. It's always there in you. Self-esteem, there is no doubt about it. It is the gift, it is the radiance of that higher presence. As long as our behavior is aligned with that. If we don't behave like that, then that self-esteem starts becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, because we are reducing the radius. When we increase the radius, by aligning ourselves with the principles of that brilliance within us, these few things, not hurting others, always trying to do your best, say what you mean what you do, in one line, thinking, saying, doing in one line, transparent, trying to be as helpful. These 4 or 5 things, if we are doing, then there's a huge reservoir of self-esteem within us. And there's no doubt, there's nothing that we feel we cannot be done. There is, can you do this? Yes, we can do it. Can you do this? Yes, we can do it. Because we have these few principles with us. I may be saying something very simple, but it's very, very powerful. If any one of you who's listening to this video even later, if he's feeling lost, just come back to these basics. There is brilliance within you, there's help within you. But we have reduced the radius. We have reduced the radius of that self-esteem, and it's not radiating from us. So we have to increase the radius by aligning ourselves with that principle of radiance which is inside, which is a few things which we discussed now. Self-esteem is the foundation from which self-confidence comes. True self-confidence comes. self-confidence can be two types. One is you just portray, yeah, I'm great, and you're trying to. So that is also a self-confidence, and that also works sometimes in the short run. But if you're really looking at a very natural, always available kind of a self-confidence, where you don't have to try to put on some mask, or you don't have to be alert to be confident. Your natural state is confidence. You're confident. Then that comes from self-esteem. You can also be self-confident from outside, wearing personality masks, and that is also fine. And perhaps sometimes you have to do it. If it is not there inside, but if the situation is demanding, what you will do? You will have to, somehow look confident. You're going for a job interview, you cannot look for self-esteem and then let the self-confidence come out. That's the right solution, but it will take time. If you are jolly well not, if the self-esteem right now is kind of not as radiating, then the self-confidence, inner self-confidence will be low. Then you have to put a mask. It's okay. The world accepts it. As long as the job is being done, that's great. But here we are talking about perhaps that is a self-confidence with a big S. You can put it that way. But the confidence that comes out of self-esteem, that is sort of self-sustainable, it is natural. And one thing is that you can lose your self-confidence, but you can lose your self-confidence due to things which are external. Things can happen to you. You may have encountered failure, you're not able to take it. You've gone to the wrong company, which is again and again telling you negative things. You have over-expected things from yourself, and you have, as a result of that, you yourself are suffering. So and then you start becoming thinking small, and you start withdrawing. You start stammering in your voice. All this will happen. When these things are happening, if you go back to your pool of self-esteem, and remember that you are not less than anyone, because you are the same light, the self-love. That's how it connects. That the same light, the same beauty that is in you, which is there in the richest man in the world, and the poorest man, and the strongest and the weakest. The same beauty is in you, and you withdraw to that influence of that beauty. Just go inside, which people call meditation. When you do that, and you come out again, recognizing your true self, because the outside person, the outside Vishal who got beaten, was only a mental Vishal. We know that our bodies keep changing. We know that our minds are changing every time. So what is actually Vishal? Vishal is changing. The person who started this seminar at 7 o'clock and the person who is talking now, physically, mentally has changed because new thoughts has come in. My body cells have gone. So the person has changed. So what is the true Vishal? The true Vishal is that higher self. And whenever I am lost, when the outside Vishal is hit, and then we go inside and we look at our self-esteem, it live there for a while, come back. And then how we will build self-confidence is the next slide. Okay. The next slide is also going to be interactive, and I'm going to just switch my screen. So just hang on. I'm going to go to another. Okay. So let's kind of get this going. So these are some elements from my experience that how self-confidence takes a hit, and how what we can do to protect our self-confidence. Okay. So these are not things which many of us may not know. I think many of us may know, but when you put all of them together on one board, it comes as something very nice. So evaluate your progress against your own goals. We are talking about how to build self-confidence, and the first block of self-confidence is evaluate your progress against your own goals. What does it mean? Can somebody contribute? Evaluate your progress against your own goals. What does it mean? If somebody had seen the video which I had posted, this point was covered over there. What does this mean? Evaluate your progress against your own goals. Yes? Who would like to contribute? Okay. See, everyone has unique strengths. First, fish cannot fly, it will suffer from complex. I had a message from one of our community members about self confidence. I don't do this, I don't do that because I get, he was very open. He said because of inferiority complex. So, one of the very important teachings that I understood is that a fish cannot fly, but a fish can swim. So a fish needs to set up goals about swimming. It cannot set up goals against for flying. And if it tries to set up goals against flying for compare goals for flying because the bird is flying, then inferiority complex is going to happen. His self-confidence will be destroyed. So don't make that mistake. Look at your own strengths, and based on your own strengths, you set up your goals. And what is your basic nature? What is your basic strength? And once you set up your own goal, you compare your progress with that goal. For example, there are people who want to go to Calcutta. Okay, then they start moving from Bombay to Calcutta. They cross Delhi. Then all of a sudden they start comparing that why am I not close to Madras? My friend is just 100 kilometers from Madras, but I am so far. I am so much far from Madras. But you never wanted to go to Madras, right? When you started this journey, you wanted to go to Calcutta. So you have to compare yourself with Calcutta. That is the importance of goal setting in life, vision, mission, goals. Because if you don't have goals, then you will always be disappointed. You will be looking at everyone's life and saying, I am not happy, I am not happy, I am not happy. But the whole idea is you have to compare yourself with your own goals that you have set. The next one, make excellence your default state. What does this mean? The first thing we finished here, we said that, evaluate your progress against your own goal. Now we are looking at another thing. Done with one. Make excellence your default state. What does this mean? Anything worth doing is worth doing well. This is something, this is something that I understood from the works of Swami Vivekananda, and also my beloved spiritual guide, Chariji Maharaj used to say this, that anything worth doing is worth doing if you can give your life to it. For that moment, when you take up a work, if you've taken up the work, then your entire focus has to be there on that work. And when we either don't do it, no one is telling you have to do it, but if you're doing it, then for those minutes, for those seconds, then for those hours, put yours 100% into that. And once we bring this attitude of 100% application to what we have taken in our hand, our confidence level goes up. That time, don't think of anything else. It's not that the other things are not important, but at that point of time, nothing else is important. So that really helps in building self-confidence. So this idea starts building up and it gives us a lot of confidence. So let's go for the next one. Change takes time. Yes, somebody would like to comment on this? Change takes time. What has this got to do with self-confidence? I will take a pause here. Let's get some views. Who would like to comment on this? Change takes time. What has this got to do with confidence? Sochiye, I'll pause for a minute. Yes? Unmute yourself and talk. Yeah, Vivek, go ahead here.
I think it's probably got to do with experience. I mean, as you grow older, you see much more, you learn much more, and that's a process of change, right? Things are constantly evolving, and that slowly builds up a confidence that probably you've seen this before or done this before. So I think time teaches you a lot, really. So that's what I assume you mean by that.
Okay, that's definitely one dimension of the answer, Vivek. Thank you. But there are other dimensions also. Would somebody else also like to, instead of chatting, if you can just unmute and talk, that's so great. Yes.
Brother, Sashirika here.
Yes.
To become better, So it takes time. That's what I mean, my view.
Yes, and that's actually such a common sense thing, and people will laugh why I put it here. But this is a huge confidence killer. See, what happens is, say you want to become very good at something. Say I tried this once. I went to a video game. I'll give you a personal example. A video game parlor, that basketball game is there. No? So the friend earlier to me, he went and he out of 25, he put 22 inside. I said, okay, I will also do it. And I went and I got 4 or 5 out of 22, out of 25 attempts that I made. And I was very, very disappointed. I said, and I actually took it very personally. I am not good. I've been meditating. My concentration is good, not good. My control is not good. And then later in life, I laughed. See, self-confidence will get destroyed when you expect too much too fast without practice. Self-confidence, self-esteem is natural to you based on the 4 or 5 principles which we discussed. But self-confidence, when you have to do something, there is no alternative to it but practice. Only practice can make you perfect, more and more perfect. And if you're not ready to put that effort, and when you're not able to achieve it, and you take that on your self-confidence and on your self-esteem, you're a fool. The only reason why you didn't succeed is not because you were not good, it's because you had not practiced. It's a very simple principle in life, but we just get this wrong. We just don't apply ourselves and we expect too much. Something about change is that the brain does not like sudden jerks. It rewires over time. As Vivek was saying a little earlier, that with time with time you change. That is true, and you have to give yourself that time. You can reduce that time by focused action. But even the great business coach Peter Drucker said it takes 18 months for really the change to happen. If you have to make some serious changes in your life, it will take at least 18 months for you to change your reality of life. It can't happen in 18 days. It can't happen in 7 days. It can't happen in 3 months. We have to learn first how to walk, then jog, and then run. We have to have a step-up plan. For example, I have not been exercising. All of a sudden, tomorrow I want to go and pick up 20 kgs. What's going to happen? I'm going to destroy myself. I will lose my self-confidence, and I say, I am not good. I am. The self-esteem is there. I can do anything. I can pick up 40 kgs maybe after 6 months. But tomorrow I'm not able to go to pick up 20 kgs because I'm not allowed myself to take it up in a step-by-step manner. So first walk, then jog, then run. Anything we want to apply ourselves in life, we have to keep this in mind. It's a very simple thing, but it really goes a very, very big way because we over-expect. There's a science of brain involved in this. Perhaps some other day we will talk about neuroplasticity and how, how that is a very important aspect. There's a big science. The wiring of the brain takes time. You have to build new neural pathways. So let's move ahead. This is the third thing about building confidence. Next is keep positive company. This is a very obvious thing. There is a very important thing here, which says that you are the average of the 5% you spend maximum time with. I don't know whether as friends you remember, if you're in a particular company that continues to pick on you, see, once in a while friendship picks on everybody, that's okay. But they continuously target you, and they continuously try to bring you down, then it's better you don't be a part of that company. It's not worth it. You need to be in a company that appreciates you, where there is mutual trust and respect. And if you do not have 10 people like that in life, if you have one person, it's enough. And if you don't have any such person, wait. Shed all such relationships which makes you feel small about yourself. And wait and look for those relationships where there is mutual trust and respect. Because we are going to become the effect of those words, effect of this company is going to come on us. We will become the average of 5 persons that we spend time with. We continuously look at people who keep telling us, you cannot do it, you cannot do it, the world is negative, this will not happen, this cannot happen, that cannot happen. That's it. That's how you're going to start thinking. So this is very important. Keep positive company. I remember the words of my teacher, Chariji Maharaj, and he said that ruthlessly shed people and relationships which can destroy your motivation, your goal orientation. You don't, maybe at a superficial level you need to socialize, that's fine, but you don't let them enter your real zone. You keep them away, and you only keep with people who believe in your goals, your way of thinking, and who are positive about it. So this is something very important that helps build self-confidence. If you are, not having that sort of company, you should reflect. The next thing is building routines and habits. Now, this is a great one. What happens is we believe that we have overplayed the role of motivation. I feel motivated, and then I'll go and do something, and then I will not make it a part of my routine and habit. So motivation can only help you once. It can help you start, but if you have to sustain, then you have to form a habit. This is a very important point here, that if so many times we feel motivated to do something, we do it for a day or two, then we stop, and then we say, I'm not good. Are Baba, and or that motivation was not enough. It is going to happen. If you rely on motivation alone to make you do things, then it's a big mistake. Motivation can give you a start, but if you have to make that path regular, then you have to immediately start forming habits. Immediately, every day, start doing it in small bits. One point here is, bite small and then bite big. First walk, then jog, then run, and then sprint. Don't try to change everything all of a sudden, and enjoy those small successes. Enjoy that small thing. Feel happy that yes, I did this. If you are taking maybe you are taking 4 packs a day, if you have been able to reduce it to 3 packs of alcohol a day, or you are taking 10 cigarettes, you've been able to reduce it to 6 or 7. Please enjoy that process and feel happy that I could do it 7. Doesn't matter one day you went to 8 again and then again you came back to 7. It's okay. Work in small bits. I was not able to meditate today in the morning. Okay, it's fine. Don't carry that burden. Move ahead. It's always keep moving. The point is, if after 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, if you're higher than where you were before, that's great. But all this will happen only when we build routines and habits. And routines and habits are a big booster to self-confidence, because it becomes automatic. So we are done with this. Okay. Another thing that brings us a lot of self-confidence is when our ignorance is shed. What do I mean by ignorance being shed? Is that many times we suffer because we don't know, isn't it? Even when you are attending this particular session, there's so many things you feel that, oh, if I had known this earlier, I wouldn't have felt bad. This whole thing about fish not being able to fly and a bird not being able to swim, and each having their own talent, it's such a beautiful thought. You have to compare your journey with your own goal. All of a sudden, you cannot start comparing yourself with a goal that you never wanted to achieve. It's great, right? It just helps so much. So all this comes when we start, bringing up our knowledge, and we shed our ignorance, and that is really a confidence builder. If we continue to remain the frog in the well and we continue to remain ignorant, then there will be many opportunities when our self-confidence will take a hit, not because you did something wrong, but just because you don't know. You over-expected, or you didn't apply yourself just because you didn't know. So this is another one. Make promises cautiously and keep your word. There's something about self-confidence, that once you know that once your mind knows that once once I commit, I keep my word, that confidence is very high, because you have got used to keeping your word. If you're a kind of a person who just promises something and doesn't keep his word, then the confidence in you will be low, because you don't know that what you're committing to your own self, you're going to do it or not. You cannot have a position where you're committing to somebody else and regularly being very casual about it. Once in a while, mistakes happen, you're not able to do this or that, that's okay. But if it's a regular habit to keep saying, I'll call you at 4 and you don't call, or I will give you this, or you offer to help and you don't care, you just said it because you wanted to say it, it has no value. then where is the self-confidence going to come from? When you commit to yourself that I will do this, it is the same mind which continuously does not, it's the same mind which fails others, which will be the same mind which will fail yourself. So please, we have to get into a routine of keeping a word, and even if it is small, calling a person, if you said somebody will do something small, you should do it, and get used to the idea of being consistent. That really helps self-confidence. Finally, it is failure is equal to learning. This is really a great one. It's my favorite self-confidence builder and also the destroyer. When we fail, we take it on our self-worth. Whereas, especially in India, I think Americans and Western culture, they are very cool about failing. There, if you fail as an entrepreneur many times, they're damn cool about this. Yeah, it's a learning process. But in India, failure is seen as a taboo. I do not know whether you will agree with this, but it's really seen as a taboo. And you fail once or twice and you're done. Oh, this has happened. Whereas failure is actually a learning process. So failures, either when you do something, either you will get it right and there will be a result, or you will get it wrong and there will be learning. That's it. There's nothing more to it. There's no idea of giving up. Swami Vivekananda, again, one of my favorite heroes, used to say, 1,000 times you will fall and 1,000 times you will have to get up. He says struggle is life and giving up is death. Those were his views. Doesn't matter these failings, he used to say, these failings and coming back, the slide backs, come back again. Because this life is about muscle building, moral building. Moral muscles we have to build up. We are going to fail. Take it for writing. I think there was a statement from Socrates. Please forgive me if I'm quoting it wrong. There was this Greek philosopher, Socrates or somebody else. Anyway, what is important is the quote. He said the only person who will not make mistakes is a person literally who doesn't do anything, who doesn't do anything. He's the only person not going to make mistakes. So let's give up this idea of failures being a taboo and let us make our fair share of mistakes and learn from them. Not deliberate ones. In one of my business coaching, I always say, make new mistakes. Don't make the mistakes that others have made. They've left something for us to learn. Let us learn from that. But make your own pool of mistakes. And if you made mistakes, welcome to the club of learning. So this is it. I will take up questions now. If you have any questions or if you have any comments that you want to add to this, please contribute. Yes. So if you like today's session in terms of the input that it is giving in terms of
Brother,
yes.
as you said, when we talked about the change, so change, including me, everyone will, in the beginning, they'll fear, like change, what happens, it's for good, it's for better, or it's for worse. Most of the time we'll take it in a negative way. Because right now we'll be accustomed to the things in which we'll be moving or in which we'll be placed. So change for us, we think maybe it's going to worse, or who knows what brings, worse or bad, or in the negative way we take. Because we are accustomed to the present situation. And if you think change, who knows, God knows what happens if we want to change. Most of the time we think, what others think of us. What if the change happens in us? What will happen? What others will think? Will they accept this change, or moreover, will I be able to accept this change, whether for good or no? So all these things will be moving in the mind. I think so, because change is a very big word, and to welcome, we need a brave heart and mind also. To me, it's like I'm thinking so. I put forth my views.
Yes, thank you. See, that is why confidence is a topic that comes after vision, mission, goals, and milestones. Once you have your vision in place, once you are convinced about a mission statement, you have your goals and milestones, then comes the question of self-confidence. Otherwise, self-confidence for what? Today you will do this, tomorrow you will do that. The question of self-confidence arises only when there is clarity of goal. So this whole question of what people will think, that they have fear, then this context of self-confidence is just doesn't exist. You need confidence to achieve your vision, mission, goal, and milestones. What else do you need your self-confidence for? Whatever they may be, it could be student, it could be simple milestones, it's okay. But if you are not convinced that that is a milestone that you want to achieve, then there's a problem with the goal. And if you're not convinced about the goal, then there's a problem with the mission statement, with your mission. And if you're not convinced about a mission, then there's a problem with your vision. Let's get that right. Let us not question our goals when we come to self-confidence. Goals have to be set right before you come to this station. That is what my contribution is, sister. Thank you for asking. Yes.
That is to say, this is all these things are interrelated one to each other.
It is aligned, but I think, see, that is in our learning group, that is what we are trying to do. We started with vision, mission, goals, and then we're talking about self-communication, self-confidence. We're taking it step by step. Self-confidence, see, anything can be first. I agree with you that in these kind of topics, anything can be first, anything can be second. But the format that we are following is this. We have to do it in some way, right? So I'm assuming that people who are talking about self-confidence are clear about that. There's no question about that. If you're questioning your goals, then you have to go back to the earlier thing and get that right. I'm trying to stick to the learning format. But I agree with you, they are all related, but you see, you have to cut the cake somewhere. So it's like that. Yes. So great, guys, it's 8 o'clock, and if you have any questions, you can put it in the interaction group. I will take it up over there. If you really found this useful, please put 2 in the chat box. If you found this thing, the feedback gives us a lot of direction that people found this useful, and we kind of okay. An honest reply. And if you think there was something,
I don't know how to put chat.
Yeah, who's that? Good, nice to see you. Okay, great. And anyone has any feedback on this topic, that this could have been covered or something else, feel free to give your suggestions. So great. Thank you for coming. And as I said, those who came in late, we are now this initiative is called Together for We. Earlier it was called Heartful Learners Academy. We have evolved it because the idea of using the word heartful again and again was giving an idea that this is only heartfulness. It is not only heartfulness. We want to invite goodness campaigners from all over the world. We want to learn from them. We want to combine with them. Our objectives of learning, earning, and giving is the same, but we want to kind of do it on a together we kind of a platform. So let's consider this as a platform in social entrepreneurship, where we are going to learn also, earn also, and give also. And it's definitely not restricted to any one particular community. It's open to all goodness campaigners of this world. So see you again in the next 15 days. Today we were not able to cover time management. It's okay. We will do it next time. And very happy with the level of participation. And next time, try to invite people. If you like the way we are doing things now and you like the content, just get some friends, somebody to enjoy, to come, participate. Let people know that such a thing is happening. And let's see how we can grow together. So thank you so much, and see you again after 15 days. Thank you so much.